Hello everyone, welcome to yet another video on the morphology of reproductive parts, in which we are discussing regarding floral whorls. And now in this video we are going to discuss regarding the second essential or necessary floral whorl known as a gynoecium. So the gynoecium, also spelled as gynoecium or pistil, is the central or the topmost whorl of flower, usually terminating the thalamus. So last part, nodal region. On the last nodal region, there is a presence of gynoecium which terminates the thalamus. It composed of one or more carpel or megasporophyll. Because they produce a ovule or egg, they are called as a megasporophyll. When there is a single carpel, the pistil is called simple or monocarpellary, which is not very common, although it is a characteristic of a large families of Leguminosae and Gramineae. A typical carpel has three parts, that is ovary, style and stigma. The lowermost swollen part is the ovary, containing one or more swollen bodies called as ovules, which are the rudiment of seeds. Above the ovary, the carpel is protruded into a long or a short style which ends in somewhat rounded and usually sticky stigma, on which pollens are deposited during the pollination. So let's see one by one in detail what are these parts of gynoecium, ovary, style and stigma. So let's discuss regarding ovary. The basal swollen part of the carpel is known as ovary. Internally, ovary is hollow and enclosed in ovarian cavity. Ovary may consist of only one chamber, or it may be divided into two or more chambers. These chambers are called as locules, as shown in this figure. The ovary is described as unilocular, bilocular to multilocular. The partition walls separate the locules by the formation of septa or a septum. It produces fertile tissue called as placenta. One to many ovules are developed in the placenta. So the ovary may be superior, inferior or half superior, half inferior, as we have already discussed in a flower, that is hypogynous, epigynous flowers. Now look at the diagrammatic representation. Here the unilocular ovary, that is a single locule is present, and at the center there are ovules to the central axis. Second one, that is bilocular, where the ovary is divided into two chambers. This inner space of ovary is divided into two chambers. That's why it is called as bilocular. Trilocular ovary represents three chambers. Tetralocular ovary present four chambers, while pentalocular ovary present five chambers. The common examples of bilocular ovary is here given. A tomato, section of tomato shows a bilocular ovary. Now let's discuss regarding a style, a second part of a typical carpel, that is a style, which is the elongation of a ovary part. Style, it is a slender stalk-like part of the carpel, and it may be long or short. The style connects the ovary with the stigma. So this is the middle portion of the carpel which connects stigma, that is the uppermost, and ovary, that is the basal part of the carpel. And in maize the style is very long and slender, and in canna it is flat, colored and petaloid. Look at the diagram. Look at the diagram of cob. Here the hairy structure is a style, which is in cob or in maize it is a long and slender, while in case of canna plant the style is colored as well as flat, and it is a petaloid. Next part, that is stigma, the terminal or apical portion of the part of the typical carpel, that is a stigma. And stigma is the receptive part of the style. It is present terminally at the upper free end of style, and the stigma top is somewhat rough or papillose or even hairy and somewhat sticky due to secretion on which pollen grains can be germinated after pollination. In clitoria, stigma is terminal and simple, and in hibiscus, stigma is composite. Look at here the structure of stigma in case of two different flowers. Now let's see different types of gynoecium. A gynoecium consists of carpels. The number of carpel in a gynoecium varies in different flowers and ranges from one to many. And a gynoecium is described as when first, that is a simple gynoecium. It consists of only one carpel. It is also known as monocarpellary gynoecium. It is found in clitoria or in butterfly peas. We see the only one ovary is there, that's why, or only one gynoecium is there, that's why this gynoecium is called as a simple gynoecium, or it is also called as a monocarpellary gynoecium. Now, the gynoecium that consists of two or more carpels is known as compound or polycarpellary syncarpous gynoecium. And a compound gynoecium may be described as bicarpellary gynoecium, tricarpellary gynoecium, pentacarpellary gynoecium, or polycarpellary gynoecium. When single carpellary gynoecium is there, then it is called as a monocarpellary, or we call it as a simple gynoecium. When two carpels are present, it is called as bicarpellary. The example is datura. When three carpels are present, it is called as tricarpellary gynoecium, and the example is euphorbia. When there are five carpels are present, then it is called as a pentacarpellary, for example hibiscus. And when more than five carpels are present, in such condition the gynoecium is called as a polycarpellary, and the best example of polycarpellary is the rose flower. Now a compound gynoecium is divided into apocarpous and syncarpous type of gynoecium. So let's see what is meant by apocarpous and what is meant by syncarpous type of gynoecium. Apocarpous type of gynoecium, the carpels may remain completely free from each other. It is known as apocarpous. A compound gynoecium is said to be polycarpellary and apocarpous when prominent carpels are free from each other. For example, Michaelia champaka. For example, apocarpous, there are many gynoecium present in the floral whorl. Many carpels are present in the gynoecium whorl, and these carpels do not attach with each other. There is no fusion between these carpels, and this condition is called as a apocarpous gynoecium, or we call them as a apocarpous polycarpellary condition. This is found in Michaelia plant. Second, in case of Anonaceae, carpels are arranged on an elongated thalamus, and in Rosaceae, the carpels are arranged on a bottom of cup-shaped thalamus. So, arrangement may be found in a different forms. Secondly, syncarpous type of gynoecium, the condition in which carpels are fused with each other wholly or partially is known as syncarpous. The syncarpous gynoecium is much more common, and it involves union up to different degrees. For example, in hibiscus, ovaries and styles are united and stigma is free. In vinca and calotropis, two ovaries are free and styles are united at the stigma. So, look at the diagrammatic representation. In case of apocarpus, here it shows in case of apocarpus condition, here there are many carpels, and they are free from each other. They are individual carpel is separately arranged on a thalamus, while here in case of this syncarpous condition, the ovaries are fused with one another and arranged on a thalamus. So when they are fused, they are called as syncarpous. When they are not fused, they are called as a apocarpous. Now one more thing regarding gynoecium is presence of sutures. Now a carpel is highly modified female reproductive leaf known as megasporophyll, and a megasporophyll is folded along its midrib and the two margins are fused. The margins come together, turn inward and unite to form a chamber known as ovary cavity. The midrib portion is a carpel is called as a dorsal suture, and the fused margin from the forms the ventral suture. A specialized fertile tissue known as placenta which develops on ventral suture and bears ovule. Now let's see regarding placentation. In types of ovary we said a monolocular, bilocular. We have seen the structure of monolocular or bilocular, trilocular ovaries here. In this chamber particularly the seeds arranged in a different manner. So let's see what is the conditions of seeds or ovule arrangement inside the ovary, and on that basis this arrangement or position of ovules inside the ovary, the process is known as the placentation. So we can define placentation as the position, arrangement and mode of distribution of placenta within a ovary is known as placentation. In some ovaries, placenta are not prominent or distinct. On the basis of the position and arrangement of ovules within the ovary, the various types of placentation are as follows. First one, that is marginal placentation. This is the simplest and primitive type of placentation. It is seen in a simple and polycarpellary apocarpous gynoecium. The ovary is unilocular and superior. The placenta develops on the ventral suture along the fused margin. Many ovules develops along the marginal placentation. For example, pea plant. Look at the diagram. First, that is showing marginal type of placentation. Second, axial type of placentation. It is present in multilocular ovary of polycarpellary syncarpous gynoecium with superior ovary. The margins of the adjacent carpel meets in the center of ovary and their ventral suture fuse together and form a central axis, and the placenta develop on the central axis and bears ovules. It is known as axial placentation. For example, hibiscus, or it may be found in we say tomato or lemon or lady's finger, okra. Third one, that is a superficial type of placentation. The ovary is multilocular, the gynoecium is polycarpellary, syncarpous and superior. The placenta develops all around the inner surface of partition of the ovary. The example is nymphea, that is a lotus plant. Next type of placentation is parietal placentation. Here the ovary is unilocular, the gynoecium is polycarpellary syncarpous and the placenta bear ovules along the ventral suture of inner wall of the ovary. That is, they are peripheral or parietal in position. For example, in cucurbitaceae. I hope you have seen the cucumber arrangement of seeds in the cucumber. The seeds are arranged towards the peripheral region or outer side. So this is a parietal type of placentation. In Brassica, the ovary is bilocular due to formation of false septum or rhiplum. Next type, that is free central type of placentation. Here the placenta develops from the base of the ovary and it is not connected with the ovary wall. The placenta is free from ovary wall in the unilocular ovary and bears ovules all over its surface. The example is dianthus or primula. Next one, that is basal type of placentation. The ovary is unilocular, the gynoecium is bicarpellary syncarpus and inferior, and ovule develops at the base of unilocular ovary, and it is the characteristic feature of Asteraceae family, for example Triadax or sunflower or marigold, etc. So this is all about placentation, and it gives an idea regarding development of seeds at a particular position and distribution of the seeds inside the ovary chambers. Now why this placentation is important? Because the function of placentation is to transfer nutrient, respiratory gases and water from maternal tissue to the growing embryos, and in some instances to remove waste from the embryos also. The location of placenta or placentation is an important taxonomic character and tend to be characteristic of plant families, of parts of plant families. So this is all about the second essential wall, that is gynoecium, as well as the placentation. Here we are done with our topic number 2.2, that is flower, study of flower.